being pro-Black profitable for content creators? Let's talk about it. Jackie Aina is currently embroiled in this Painted by Esther Patrick Ta situation. There are screenshots floating around the internet of Jackie Aina responding to a comment. If the comments ever existed, they have since been deleted, but they purport to say from Jackie, and if you really were with me back in the day, you know there's absolutely nothing profitable about being pro-Black. In fact, it was the opposite. I'm not here to talk about Jackie, but I do think the conversation generally is worth having. My thesis is being pro-Black is commercially viable, is profitable, and Black content creators should feel able to talk about being pro-Black. I think it's fair to say that in 2026, beauty brands should be worried about not having expansive shade ranges and trafficking in prejudice, because when they do those things, consumers react very negatively. It's become so important to consumers even outside of the Black community that we have these massive creators like Tony Bravo and Gloria. And historically and statistically speaking, the pressure that creators like these two and others like Jackie Aina have applied to brands over the years has forced them to expand their shade ranges to their own benefit. For a lot of brands, it's helpful to see the numbers. That's really all they care about, like market size. In 2023, Black consumers spent $9.3 billion on beauty products. The Black cohort of like American consumer buying is ever growing, and it has increased 32% since 2000. This year, Black consumers are expected to control $2.1 trillion in buying power. And that is up from $910 billion back in 2019. Again, another massive increase. Which is all to say, like, Black consumers are not a niche market. Despite Black consumers being one of like the primary growth engines in the beauty industry, more than 61% of Black consumers say they regularly feel misrepresented by marketing. Let's turn now to the loyalty data, which does say that Black consumers are among the most loyal of consumers in America. Did you know that 65% of Black consumers say they will return to a brand over and over again if they like authentically involve and reflect their culture? Meanwhile, 70% of Black consumers say they will like never return to a brand again if that brand devalues their culture or ethnicity. We're looking at you, Target. Which is to say that brands are spending millions, billions of dollars on consumer retention. Meanwhile, like the roadmap is right there. I just gave you guys the roadmap. This data is like super positive, super overwhelming, points to a very clear roadmap, but it doesn't mean that anything has been solved. In fact, like in my conversations with Black content creators, I think it's really normal for people to feel like they have to weigh their desire to be pro-Black and to center their culture and community against the fact that that might not make them brand safe. Because again, the data is clear. If you center marginalized communities in your marketing, in your advertising, in your PR list, right? That will reap you so many untold benefits, including financially. Anyway, just like follow the data. Okay, bye.